Hello, and welcome to this week's Wafflers Wednesday. Can anyone believe it's Wednesday already?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or does it definitely feel like a Wednesday?
It's felt like a Wednesday all day.
Or is this the third Monday of the week? I'm not sure which.
Or don't.
But yeah. But no, it's nice.
Definitely felt like
At least now we are closer to the weekend than we were the previous weekend. So we've got stuff to look forward to. I know, Claire, it's not too long before you'll start packing for your next trip.
No, it's not too long at all. I think it's like 22 days. 3 weeks today.
That's not long.
Wow.
We're 29 days. We're 29 days. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Does that mean we're on our own coming up very shortly?
Very shortly. There's going to be
No, we only cross over by a day. We come back the day that Jill and Peter arrive. So
yeah,
you're going to be waving as you
cross
the Atlantic.
Actually, probably what will happen is that Claire will be on the same plane as Peter and Jill, just going in the opposite direction. It will land with Peter and Jill on it and leave with Claire.
No, we're going to be doing battle with Terminal C on the way home at Orlando. So we're 5
I've heard it's okay going home, just apparently not arriving. So
I'll find that out in December.
Yeah,
I'm hoping they'll have sorted the glitches out by then.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It happens with anything new that opens. Whether it doesn't matter whether it's an airport or a ride or restaurant. It's
what it is.
Yeah, just go and see what it's like. So
we'll get. You're going to review it for us when you come back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it was like.
I'm
not going to vlog it.
Good
I'm
or
not going
bad.
to vlog it or anything like that. I might take some pictures. But,
good or bad.
I'll tell you what my experience was.
Tell us what the experience in Terminal C was.
Do you know what? What is also a good experience? Facebook is working this week.
Yay!
Currently.
Okay, I've just jinxed it. But it is currently working. And I know John wanted to be on the show tonight, but he is supporting us all in the chat.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
And he is on both Facebook and
he's on
YouTube.
Both.
He's on both. So it doesn't matter what.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
What you're watching us on, you can say hello to John.
Don't cross the streams.
Hi, Neil and Karen.
Hi.
Yeah. We've got a good show planned for tonight. I think we did a bit too much shopping last week when we were at Disney Springs.
Yes. So now we've got to lug it all back to the hotel.
That's okay. We're going not going far. So
we're not.
We've got the choice. Do we drive? Did we park at Disney Springs? Because I know, I'm not sure he's in the chat yet, but John Self posted a picture in the Wafflers Arms of the parking garage at Disney Springs.
Which one?
I think it was orange, but I could be wrong. It might have been lime.
Team lime.
Now, I always forget which one's which.
Lime is the one that you come out by Planet Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right.
And orange, the one you thought was a shop.
No,
orange
lime
is the
was
one
the
that's down by Polite Pig.
Was it lime you thought? One of them you thought.
Because we were outside the cinema.
Yeah. Orange is the one down by the Polite Pig.
Right.
Yeah.
And Uniqlo. But lime wins every time for us.
Okay. I think we should get the car, fill it full of bags, and I think we should head on to our hotel.
So we're going to be taking a couple of trips around the Disney Springs Resort area hotel.
Disney Springs Resort.
Disney Springs.
Is that what it's called?
That's not just the Disney
Double
Springs.
Disney.
Disney Springs.
Because we don't want to confuse everybody by going to all of the off-site
the Universal
hotels.
Disney Sports. Or the
no, things like
the SeaWorld Disney Resorts.
It's sponsored by Chapek.
No, things
when
like
you want
the
more
resort
Disney.
and Atlantic.
You want it to be more Disney. They call it the Disney Springs.
So
Sorry, Becca.
This is going to be a trend, isn't it? So instead of visiting Walt Disney World, it's Walt Disney World.
Double Disney.
Double Disney.
Disney's Walt Disney World.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the one.
was new. I've not seen that one before.
Have you not?
No, you've been playing again.
That's what happens when you get bored with Canva.
Oh,
But yeah, no, that didn't take too long to put together earlier on. But yeah, it was just... There's so many resorts that I think we've only stayed at one of the Disney Springs resorts.
We have.
But we've always thought that we always want to stay close to Disney Springs. So for us, that Saratoga is our home DVC resort. And it's one for the first time we've stayed at this year.
It's amazing.
And Jill,
and
I
it's all
understand...
DVC, isn't it?
Not Port Orleans.
No.
Oh,
Saratoga
Saratoga,
Springs
Saratoga
yes.
Springs.
Yes.
is entirely DVC.
DVC.
Along with Old Key West, entirely DVC.
But you can stay at it without being DVC.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
they do sell the rooms that aren't.
Yeah.
And I remember...
but there aren't any... There are no hotel rooms. There's
Yes.
studios, 1, 2,
There's
3
all the
beds.
studios, 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
beds.
Yeah.
All the treehouse villas.
Yeah. Yeah, we stayed there in 2014, which was our last trip. And we were in Congress Park, and it was actually quicker to walk to Marketplace than to walk to Carriage House, which is the main building. So we spent a lot of time and a lot of money in Marketplace.
Well, to be fair, you probably got a better deal on the food options.
Yes, there is that.
It's true. I think that's the only downside, I'd say, of probably being so close to Disney Springs is that the hotels don't offer as much food option. I'd say you get table service, you get a quick service, but then
And the pool.
but then you've got
There's a couple of pool bars.
but you don't have as much, and that's probably
There's not
because
as much choice, and the quality, in my opinion, it's just my opinion anyway, for Saratoga Springs especially, the quality is not as good. The quality of the food isn't as
We
brilliant.
found Turf Club, we had a very odd experience. We were tired. It was very busy, very noisy. There was several screaming children, overexcited children, so perhaps not the best environment. And our server was a little bit brusque, but the food was okay, very bland. I will say that the lobster fondue that came with the steak was amazing, and I would order that on its own, on anything, or as a side again. But my steak was just near. And then Peter ordered something called an eclair. Now, Peter is a pastry chef, so he knows what an eclair should look like. This thing involved sponge and pink custard and came in a little
that's
pot.
a cake.
That's called a
cake.
cake.
And we sort of flagged down our server and said, "Excuse me, we asked for the eclair." "Yes, that's the eclair," she said. Okay. So that was not the best experience.
I echo you, Jill, on that, because we've been to Turf Club once before.
Yeah.
And I say once.
We haven't gone back. I mean, they've had a refurb since we went, and probably would have been since you went as well. I think it was about 2017. I think they had their refurb.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's improved anything since.
Is Turf Club the one at the golf course? It's the one in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I've consistently heard not good things about it.
It's the one you sort of walk straight
You walk
past
straight
when you get off the
past
boat.
and get on the boat and go to Disney
I've never
Springs.
been to Saratoga Springs.
There's
Have you not?
options.
You've just been to the golf.
I will say, although the quick service, yes, it's basic because largely they expect people to be cooking or, in their sort of multi-room things with their full kitchen, or they expect you to be going to Disney Springs or wherever. So the quick service is very basic, but we did have a very nice flatbread there one night. So, that's fine.
We used the mobile order a couple of times on our last trip, and it was nice.
Yeah.
It was something when you just want something small, nothing too, just like a light lunch or nice breakfast.
And the breakfast,
knackered, to be fair.
Breakfasts are the same as everywhere. So you get your bounty platter or whatever. And what was nice was that unlike Port Orleans, you basically go to the till and you pay or whatever, and then you go and find your seat, and then they bring it to you, which meant it had a better chance of being hot.
So that's different experience to what we had this year. But I think
that's changed.
Yeah.
It might have been
because of mobile order. And it's
right.
now you go and collect it, and there you go. There's your tray. So it's
So Saratoga looks like a massive resort. I mean, I think none of the resorts other than French Quarter, but if you put the two Port Orleans together, all three of these resorts are huge, aren't they? And does it feel like a massive resort when you're in it?
No, it felt smaller when we've visited several times before staying there.
Got lost several times.
Every time we got there, we got lost to begin with. But then when we stayed there, because everything felt small, I think just because we knew where we were going.
We knew what stops we were supposed to be getting off at. And
we always used to
work those out.
use Saratoga we were always told it was the quickest way for us to get to Disney Springs from a park. So we went to Saratoga Springs, but we wouldn't know what bus stop to get off at for the closest one. So whichever one we got off at was someone completely different.
Was the wrong one.
Yeah. So we've had form of this. When we spoke about Fort Wilderness and we walked halfway across when we got off the... So it is one of those things.
If I remember rightly, it's Congress Park to get to the walkway to Disney Springs or the paddock if you're looking to get the boat over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally steps from the bridge over to Disney Springs. It's really,
and it's a lovely
near.
to be honest.
Yeah. We checked in. By the time we got in, it was gone 10 o'clock. And it was a bitterly cold and windy night. And we still walked across and found our way to Wolfgang Puck Express for pizza. And as soon as we got on the bridge,
that walkway takes you pretty much just into the edge of the marketplace, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you have, I suppose, if you're in a room, so if you're in one of the areas near the other end of that bridge, so if you're in Saratoga Springs and you're somewhere near the end of that bridge, do you just get loads of through traffic, loads of people walking past constantly?
It doesn't feel like it.
The buildings are set quite far back from the path.
Okay. Because that would be like my thought of, like, you look out your window and all you just see is like ants going to the colony, just like people traipsing past.
I still think a lot of people don't know about the walkway.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of people use the boat. So you've got that option, and it's a downside because the boat used to go to near the boathouse as well, but that's not open now. So it only goes to sort of the marketplace part of Disney Springs. So but yeah, it doesn't feel like we've walked across it quite a few times on the last trip.
A number of times.
And
I mean, people say this about big resorts, but really, unless you have any reason to go to the other sections, basically you go to the main building. And you go to, sort of,
go to the pool.
You go to your little bits.
Yeah.
You go
to
your nearest pool. Yeah. You don't really go
how many
to
pools
the other
are there?
sections.
4.
Okay.
That'll tell you how big the resort is. It's got 4 pools. One main
presumably
pool
one
and
of them
3.
has got a slide and...
You've got one by the carriage house, which is the reception, is the main one. And then you've got smaller ones in the areas around.
And the theming of the resort is horsey?
Yeah, it's upscale.
Is it?
I will show you a picture of the room.
It's kind of.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe
That's
it.
nice. I like that sofa. That's presumably a sofa bed.
It is.
It's like a little crushed velvet number. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's quite comfy.
Oh yeah. Well, that is this since the refurb. This is last year.
Yes.
This year.
This year.
This one we just went to.
June.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The refurb was from 2019, I think.
Yeah.
They started it, and now it's
done
covered
now.
the whole
I
resort.
think the photos that I've seen are probably pre-refurb then, because it just looked a bit bland when I saw them before.
It's a reason why we haven't been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beforehand.
It was just our opinion, but in our opinion, they looked a little bit dated before the refurb.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what we've looked at, because we have stayed at Old Key West, and I know we'll get onto that eventually. And we did, the second time we stayed at Old Key West, we did go, should we do Saratoga Springs or should we do Old Key West? And we had friends who'd stayed at Saratoga Springs and were like, that's amazing. And I looked at it and I was like, it just looks a bit old. Outdated, tired.
Yeah.
It didn't really give me all the feels, so we didn't. We went for Old Key West again, knowing that we liked it. So,
I think we had the thing of where we bought into DVC in 2016. We'd stayed at resorts like Copper Creek, which is clean, new Bay Lake Tower, and it was like. Then we looked at Saratoga and gone, "Oh, that looks like it needs a refurb." So we thought we'd wait, and I'm glad we did because
Yeah, I love the interior actually. I really like that. Like
Interior,
the crushed
it's
velvet
nice.
sofa and the
This was the
grey
view
and
from
green.
our room.
And it's crisp and clean.
Yeah, that was a view from
Oh,
our
that's
balcony.
nice.
And a gorgeous view.
So, did a lot of the buildings look onto water then at Saratoga?
Yes.
That tends to be the view.
There's not
And
really a car park
okay,
view as such from the
Oh, that's
majority
really
of them, I
lovely.
don't think.
so presumably you can go. You know, there are websites like touring plans where you can go
Yeah.
on. You know, I
And
have a subscription
choose.
to touring plans, and I use it all the time. Especially if we're staying on site. And for my next 2 trips, I've already done this and put the room request in. So you go in and you can look at the view pretty much from any room on property. So I know we've done that because the first time we stayed at Old Key West, there's so many choices of rooms, and I think that would probably be the case in terms of Saratoga Springs as well. You can you can pick and choose your view. You could get without any extra cost, obviously. And put your room request in. You could get some really beautiful views like you did. And my guess is there are rooms where maybe it's not quite so lovely.
Yeah.
But
With Saratoga, you've got, I'd say, 2 areas of categories of rooms. You've got preferred and standard. So the preferred is with the Springs building, which we were in, which is the one nearest the carriage house. Or you've got the Congress Park, which is nearest Disney Springs.
and they're both preferred.
They're both preferred.
Yeah.
So they cost you
and
a
then
little
everything
bit
else is
extra. Everything else is standard. So,
Although
further away.
we
when
decided that we wouldn't do preferred again.
No.
We didn't think it was worth the extra in points.
Okay, was it a lot extra?
It worked out
I
about
suppose you use
4 points a night, so
okay.
it was probably an extra $50 a night, I think.
Would probably work
So,
out as.
but it's one of those things, and you can't guarantee where you are in that block either.
okay.
So it was just I'd rather get the extra few nights in.
And presumably, they're small buildings, well, smallish buildings with a group. Have the buildings got lifts, elevators?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
They do. Okay.
They do.
makes it nice
And
and easy.
when we arrived, someone came and with a golf buggy and drove us to our room and insisted on taking the cases all the way up in the lift to the room with us and refused to take a tip.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
That's nice.
So, they look after you.
Said nobody ever.
And we had, I wouldn't say we had.
I think that's changed since 2014 as well, Victoria.
Yeah, when we checked in, because at the time we were at Disney Springs having lunch, was it Wine Bar George? And
As you do.
So, and then we got the notification from Disney saying your room is ready. So, as you do, you open touring plans to see what room you've been allocated. We weren't happy with it. It was just the ground floor.
It was a ground floor, and our preference is always for at least
Yes.
a higher floor, which
No
I know is
creepy
odd because
crawlies.
I'm not
Yes.
a huge fan of heights, but I'm also not a huge fan of people walking past my patio.
Or
Oh,
over
do
your
you
head.
know, that's the thing, because I think that there is something about that. When I walked around the back of, I know we talked about the beach club a couple of weeks ago. When you walk around the back of the beach club villas and you use a little cut through, you walk past people's bedroom windows. People don't shut their curtains.
No.
They're just like leave all their stuff everywhere, and then they're just chatting away, and
it's not gated off either.
It's not gated off, and
why would you? That's a no for me. I definitely not want to be on the ground floor if there was going to be people walking past, or if the building was backing onto lots of undergrowth.
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
we asked if they had a floor in a higher room.
Okay.
And
you got
10 minutes later, we were in a floor with a higher room.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a good thing with
the higher floor.
resorts being so big. They've got so many rooms and they
have
probably
that
don't fill
extra
up as
available.
much. So there's that option that if you want to move rooms, you can do.
Yeah, that's really good.
As long as you hadn't been inside the room.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
sure.
they would have
Otherwise
needed to
have to clean
reclean
it.
it again.
Yeah.
One thing
I think
we
that's the
did
same with
find. Sorry.
No, go on.
No. Well, yeah. One thing we did find was that we found the walk between where we were and Carriage House probably felt longer than it was. It was really only 10 minutes. But it was that time when you thought, oh, I've got my refillable mug and I've got to go back to the room and drop it off and get the bus. And, so yes, there are benefits to being in a sort of a smaller resort, perhaps. But overall, the size wasn't a problem.
And I think, like you said about refillable mugs and things, it's like the pull bars are open. I think one of them are open later, so you don't have to go all the way to the main building to refill and get food.
And pull bars if they're open.
So, we did find that it was important to know which bus stops come first, because we were on, I think Grandstand is first. We were at Congress Park. We never had a problem, but quite often by the time it got to Springs, the bus went past without stopping because it was full.
We had that.
See, we only had that once. The 10 days we were there.
Yeah,
because we were on that last bus stop.
Yeah,
which was not, in a way, was quite nice because if you were getting on the bus, you didn't then have to go around the whole resort.
Yeah,
you didn't have to add an extra 15-20 minutes onto your trip.
But I think we've said before about this about always hiring a car, always having that option.
Yeah.
I love that John has compared it to Centre Parks.
Yeah, you do still have to pay because it counts as a deluxe resort. The DVC Villa resorts, it does count as a deluxe, so you are paying $25 a night if you've got your car on site. Do you still pay that as a DVC member? No.
So that's some benefits picking points or renting from a member.
Yeah, rent from a member if you are gonna.
Yeah. Can make all the difference.
Cool tip.
Yeah.
Have you been to look at the tree houses at all?
No.
I've seen them as going
Yeah.
past, but I've not gone anywhere near them.
I've seen some vlogs of them. They look amazing.
Those haven't been refurbished. They're the only part of the resort that haven't. But
yeah,
very expensive.
We looked into them once when there was 9 of us going, and I thought, oh no, that's a lot of money.
But actually, it probably would have worked out fine. It was just
they are in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they are obviously in the trees.
You have to have a car.
You do need to have a car because
while they're not really anything accessible.
No, there's a bus service between Saratoga Springs and the Treehouse Villas, but there isn't buses to the parks from the Treehouse Villas.
You have to then go to
Springs and back to Springs.
Yeah. It's a bit of a pain, isn't it?
Yeah,
all that money for a treehouse.
And you don't even get a direct bus. So
I bought my own bus for that money.
Definitely.
Or a free minivan for that trip.
Yeah, right.
If you're paying that, but
at least they can see.
I think
we should. Next door. Should we move next door?
Yeah, we'll jump on the boat and go down.
The other side.
The other side of the tree houses.
Yeah.
So I know that I mentioned earlier we stayed at Oldkey West twice. I was trying to remember which year. I think it was
gone around it a couple of times.
2014, 2017, I think. And it was, as a lot of people know, it was the original DVC resort. So it has the benefit of the biggest rooms on property, which is one of the massive selling points of it. You know, their rooms are enormous. Bigger than some townhouses, actually, because like the one bed, we've stayed in one bed twice, and the rooms are nearly 1,000 square foot, which is huge.
It's huge.
Yeah. And by the time you get up to the Grand Villas, they're over 2,000 square foot. So then these are not small.
What do you do with all that space?
Well, cover it in rubbish. That's put all your shopping in it. I think when you look at some of the other DVC rooms on property, so if you look like we've been and looked in the display room in the boardwalk several times. We always go in and have a look, get a sticker, and talk about the fact that we can't afford it. And the size difference between the boardwalk room, one bedroom, and Oldkey West is just insane. They are probably twice the size, which is, it for me, if we were buying into DVC, Oldkey West, and I know it's the oldest resort and the length of the contract, that would still be my top choice, I think, just because we love it. I think there's something very calming about that particular resort because I love the Disney characters. I love to feel in the magic, but I also don't want it to smack me around the face every time I open my eyes. And there is something about Oldkey West. It's quite elegant. These lovely weatherboarded properties and individual buildings with sort of ice cream colours, wood boarded. They've got nice little picket fences around there, which have got really tiny little Mickeys in. So you wouldn't notice unless you saw that, really looked. And one of the best things for me is where Saratoga Springs is set around lots of water. Old Key West is set around Lake Buena Vista Golf Course, which is really cool. So if you like golf, we do, having a room on a higher floor that overlooks the green or the tee of one of the holes is fantastic. You can get up in the morning, make yourself coffee, sit outside, laugh at someone's dreadful swing. Is that so yours, great. No, it was John's. It's just there is something really nice about having the golf course, but you do get traffic and you do get people going through early because obviously they play early because of the heat.
I've got a little video of the golf course here.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. I can imagine being so close to it.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. And the other thing is that the only challenge with it is that you do get the greenkeepers out really early, so you do get a bit of noise from the green staff. They do quite a lot of
maintenance
course prep.
Work.
Yeah, course prep every day, pretty much, and they're out there cutting and trimming most mornings between like sort of 5 and 6. So if you're really close to a hole, you might get a bit of noise, but it's just ambient sound really, and it didn't bother us at all.
I've never played golf properly, so I would be rubbish.
No, I haven't either, to be fair.
It's just calming to sit and watch, and you can laugh at people's really bad.
I enjoyed watching it when it was on at the Olympics.
I'm quite competitive in general, so probably best I not play.
And I think Old Key West, again, a bit like Saratoga, is a very spread out resort, and there are some different areas. So there is the hospitality house, which is that's like the main area with the lobby, and then it's got the I can never say this. I say conch. No, I say conch flats. It's conch, isn't it? I just struggle with the whole conch thing.
Conch. It's because there's a H in it.
Yeah. So the shop. It's really good. Actually, they have some really nice merch in there, which is
brilliant.
Specifically Old Key West, which is quite fun. And then
I love all the DVC merchandise you can get in there.
You can get a lot because it's the original DVC.
And it's quite well stocked in terms of food and drink as well. Actually, it's not bad at all. And then next door to that, you've got Olivia's, which is the table service restaurant. We haven't eaten in Olivia's. Okay. I know it when we were there, the reports were poor. I think it's improved since then, but we never made it.
I've heard that the only time to go was for lunch because of was it the buttermilk chicken? But it was like a place to go just for one thing. It was like we never did. We did breakfast there, which I liked.
We chose not to go and to go other places. So the good, I can never say this either. I'm struggling tonight. I've got a stinking headache. Good food to go.
Yeah.
Good with an apostrophe. Who's good?
Yeah. I love
to go that belongs to
it's your favourite resort, but you can't pronounce half of it.
I can't, and the grammar irritates me as well. But that's a whole other issue. And that's the counter service. They've got all the drinks dispensers there, and they do a reasonable spread for breakfast. There's plenty to choose from. It's perfectly, and there's some really nice like picnic tables outside that you can sit alongside the water and eat breakfast if you want to. We did that. And then there's the gurgling suitcase, which is the tiniest bar I have ever been in.
It is the size of a suitcase.
It is.
And a small one at that, a cabin bag, I think.
The size of one of Claire's suitcases.
No, mine are bigger than that. It's so small. I mean, the bar is like a piece of kitchen worktop. And I think it has like 4, maybe 5 stools at it. And you literally have to sort of turn sideways and shimmy your way past them if you're going to walk through. There's only room really for 1, maybe 2 bartenders. So it does get quite busy. If the pool's, if it's a big, it's a busy day and the pool's busy because it's right there next to it, it can be a bit busy in there. The main pool is nice. It's got a sandcastle and it's got a slide and it's got a beachy bit at the back and it's got a nice kids play area near it. It's got a community hall, which I think probably Saratoga has as well in terms of activities.
It does, yeah.
In there's a lighthouse, and if you didn't know, inside the lighthouse is a sauna. Just telling you, in case people didn't realise. But you can that's all sort of right near Hospitality House, as is the boat to get to Disney Springs. The dock is just there as well. So that's all sort of in that central top area where you arrive and you check in, and concierge is there, and you can get everything you need. We've never stayed up there. We've only stayed in the old Turtle Pond area, which the reason we stayed there the first time was an old friend of ours that we all know, Jeff, sadly passed away. He used to rave about Old Turtle Pond. So when we stayed there for the first time, we were like, right, we're going to go for Old Turtle Pond. But we've stayed in building 35 and 36, which were really great locations. And one of the great, you can drive and park outside your building, which is, if you've got a car, it's fantastic. And we had, I think we were on the first floor, second floor if you're American, each time. And the views we had were fine. They were, the first one was off the pool area. The second time we had golf course, which was nicer. But by that point, I'd worked out how to request the room.
Yeah.
The Turtle Pond area has a bar, has a pool shack, turtle pool shack, snack bar, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, the pool there is really nice actually. There's a kiddies playground, but it's just a pool. There's nothing else. But the snack bar is excellent actually. They do really good food. And in that particular location. And then there's two other areas. There's South Point, which is, if you were to drive around the outside of Old Key West on the main road, and you see the DVC, the sign with the car and Huey, Dewey in it, that the buildings back onto that road. So that corner, that's where they back onto. So we've avoided South Point just because of the fact that it's
a lot of
noise.
It's a lot of noise, and it's straight out into big bushy folk. The light coming into those rooms sometimes is a little bit less. And then at the top end towards Hospitality House is Miller's Road. And again, they've got a pool, but they haven't got a bar. So if you're at Miller's Road or South Point, you don't have the same facilities as you would have in Turtle Pond. And the bus changes, the bus direction is important. So Turtle Pond is the first stop.
Okay.
And both times our rooms were right near the bus stop. It was brilliant. And it's the first collection and first drop off. And then it goes South Point, Miller's Road, and then Hospitality House. So if you're staying up and you go for breakfast and you wait to get the bus up there, a big old queue.
You might be waiting for a while.
Claire, when you were there, did you rent one of these? I'd love to. We considered it when we were at Saratoga.
We did see people renting them, and we also, and I remember this really clearly, we saw people doing lots of jogging at Old Key West.
Yes.
Lots of jogging.
Jogging's a
jogging everywhere.
thing.
It was like Disney World.
Okay, I'm going to go jogging. I'm on holiday. I'm going to go for a jog around the resort. There was lots of that going on, and they were very serious about it too. I love it. It's never serious.
If I'm
chasing,
running,
it might be, but it's
it's either I'm running for that sort of lightning lane,
I'm running for the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, Saratoga has that as well. I think they all have sort of running trails. I think I'm getting enough exercise in the parks. Thank you very much.
I think the rooms have been refurbed. They were refurbed back in 2018. So we haven't stayed there since they've been refurbed. But I understand that I've seen some pictures. They don't look too different. I think they've replaced the flooring. It's wood floor in the main in the sort of lounge kitchen area. And the kitchen, I think, is probably similar in terms of facilities as Saratoga. It is huge though, so you do get a massive kitchen, full oven, big double fridge, microwave, worktops, cupboards. More cupboards in there than there are in my kitchen here, and then you get the TV, and then you've got two sofas, both turn into beds, and a sleeper chair. So in a one bedroom you can actually sleep, well, you can probably sleep 15 in the bed because it's so big. And then you've got the sleeper chair, and then you've got a triple sofa and a double sofa. So you
sleep 8 people
easily, as long as they're friendly, so not 8 strangers. But
this is what I think people can't get their heads around, really, because when I first heard it, you can have a studio. Well, I know what a studio is. You can have a one bed, and one bed
To me, is that stupid?
Seems like
Yes.
and one bed is for like 2 people, one
People.
person.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
One bed is for like millions of
Yes.
people.
And the thing is, the bathrooms in those one beds are huge as well. So they're split. There's 2 parts to the bathroom. There's a part which has got a big jacuzzi bath and a sink, and then there's a second part which has got a massive shower, a toilet, and a couple of wash hand basins. And if you have to be a little. There's also a laundry, so because it's you get your washer and your dryer. And if you're staying in a room which is in a building number 30 and higher, you can access the bathrooms from the lounge area or from the main bedroom. Anything lower than building 30, you can only access the bathrooms through the bedroom. So for us, as a family where we were in the bedroom and then Morgan was sleeping in the lounge, actually for him to use the bathroom, he would have had to come into the bedroom and then into the bathroom. So we deliberately chose a building higher than number 30 so that we could have the dual aspect access. So it's worth knowing that.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's the thing about DVC resorts is that you have the option. They'll have the standard option of studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. So if you are, and with Old Key West being the original, you can see sort of what they've designed it from and how everything's adapted since. Because of Old Key West and Saratoga, every time that we looked before we were DVC, they would always be on the special offers from the Disney dining plan.
They are. So that's when we stayed there. We because it counts as a deluxe resort. We paid for the hotel room and booked it through Disney as you would with any other hotel room. But we've got a dining plan with that, which is ridiculous. And it was such a cost. It was a really good price. And there was so much space.
Well, for us, the first time we stayed at Saratoga, it was because we got free DDP and there was 30% off Saratoga. So actually it was cheaper to stay at Saratoga with full dining plan than Port Orleans with the quick service dining plan and upgrade that to the full one. So it was actually cheaper. So exactly, no
always
brainer.
check what offers are on with.
Is that a nice segue onto Port Orleans?
Yeah, maybe
it might be a good one.
Now that's one resort
we've only been to once,
and that was on our last trip. We went to the
Never
Magic Meetup.
Been past it.
Yeah. We saw the bus go by.
The bus from Old Key West stopped at Port Orleans Riverside sometimes. Weirdly, if it was going to Magic Kingdom. Yeah, don't know why,
it's one resort we've never had a reason to go to, which is a shame because it's actually it's a very pretty resort.
It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, if you love Princess and the Frog, that is where to go because it will remind you of a lot of the scenery from Princess and the Frog.
If you want beignets, you know where to go.
Yeah, if you want those man-catching beignets. There's Port Orleans is in 2 parts. You have Port Orleans Riverside, which is where we stayed on our first ever trip. And we have Port Orleans French Quarter, which is where we're going in just under a month.
So was Port Orleans Riverside Dixie Landings? Is that the previous?
Yes, I think
I think so.
It's got it's like a dragon slide or a snake or something that comes into the water.
Yes, it does. Yes, yeah.
My parents stayed at Dixie Landings back in mid-90s.
Yeah.
I didn't go on that trip, but I remember them staying there, and I was like, "What was it called before it was Port Orleans?" Okay.
Yes, it was.
Before Riverside, it was Dixie Landings.
And Port Orleans has Riverside has 2 sides to the accommodation. You have I think it's Magnolia Bend, which is kind of the very posh, Gone with the Wind type, buildings. And then you have Alligator Bayou, which is the sort of more less affluent places. Looks more like where Tiana would have grown up and where she lived, that sort of thing. Obviously, inside, they're your standard room, unless you get a royal room, which is another story. But it's just a difference in theming. And I have to say, we thought, oh, no, we're not going with sort of, the Huckleberry Finn type. We want the posh stuff. So we'd requested Magnolia Bend. But when we arrived, 10 o'clock at night, freezing cold in the middle of December, and very, very late checking in, we were told, no, I'm afraid you're in Alligator Bayou. We can't move you because the place is full of cheerleaders, because it's Pop Warner cheerleaders competition.
Ooh.
So we thought, and yes, as Marla says, no elevators, but they are only 2 floors.
Okay.
So yeah,
Not
so
a
we
lot of
thought,
stairs. That's good.
no. So we thought, oh well, okay, it's late. I don't care. We're just going to go. And they were very nice about it. And they said, check back in a couple of days and we can try and move you. But we got to our room, fell asleep. Next morning, we looked where we were and we absolutely fell in love with where we were because it was beautiful. We were right by the Sassagoula River, which is beautiful and lush and gorgeous. And we were literally steps away from the food court. We were in building 16, which is a bit of a hidden gem. They didn't have preferred rooms back in those days, but even now, it's all the rooms around it are preferred, but block 16 isn't. It's normal price. But
That doesn't sound right to me.
I know.
Don't argue.
Yeah, it was literally steps away from the food court. We discovered later that if you cut through the car park at the back, it was also steps away from the bus stop. It was near the quiet pool, near the laundry. So, I mean, location-wise, it was beautiful. And yeah, we just fell in love with it, actually. And by the time we got there for a couple of days, we honestly didn't want to move. We were really happy with where we were. Now, again, obviously, since then, they've refurbed. And it does look a bit different now, but it still has that sort of homely feel. Yeah.
Every time I see the videos, have you got a video of it?
I do, yeah. That's just so peaceful.
It is.
So...
And I put a few photos in as well. We did. Did do some
I think
photos.
it looks really lovely, actually, and I think there's something around the moderate resorts getting a bit of love nowadays. That I think prices changed so significantly that maybe moderates are becoming more attractive, and therefore there's a bit more effort to make them appealing. You see that with Coronado, they refurbed Caribbean Beach. Yeah. I think there's probably something to be said in terms of appeal. Curb appeal for them. I have to say, the videos and the footage I've seen of Port Orleans, I always think it looks stunning. The river running through it, you can go along the sides, and there's quite a lot of interesting things to see.
Yeah,
it's not somewhere that I've ever been to find time to go and visit.
Yeah.
Is Yeehaw Bob still there?
Yes, he's back now, and we would love to actually to make time to see him. I did see him. We hadn't planned to, but we'd gone out, we'd come back, and we'd had a meal in Boatwright's, which is okay. I wouldn't make a special trip to go there, but it was okay. But we were just walking through to our room, and I could hear my favourite piece of music ever, which is Rhapsody in Blue, Gershwin, being played on a piano. And I thought, who's playing? And we walked through and we went into the River Rouge Lounge, and there he was, Yeehaw Bob. He is bonkers. I think, Claire, as you love the whole sort of rowdy Pioneer Hall type entertainment, you would love Yeehaw Bob.
Maybe I need to do that when I'm there in December on my own. Maybe I need to go and see Yeehaw Bob.
He gets everybody joining in. He was teaching us this song.
No, I don't do about
you can watching everybody else.
Yes. Sarah,
Claire, there's a trick. If you hold a gimbal with your phone, they won't ask you to join in because I know you're filming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He was teaching us this song about Sarah sitting on a shed house door.
Oh, that sounds like
you have to be very, very careful how you say it. And the more cocktails you imbibe in the River Rouge Lounge.
That's a place you've got to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go and visit there in December.
Yeah.
Be fun. So where can you eat? Because there's a place called the Sassagoula Float Works, isn't there? Is that the?
Yes, that's in the French
food court, or is that a?
That's There's two. The food court in Riverside is the Riverside Mill, and the food court in French Quarter is the Sassagoula Float Works.
Am I right in thinking there isn't a table service restaurant at either of these?
There is in Port Orleans Riverside.
Is there in Riverside?
It's called Boatwright's.
Okay.
Yeah. As I say, we ate there. It was fine. it's not worth a special trip, in my opinion. But if you're staying there, and it's there. The food court was excellent. I don't think they do the make your own pasta anymore, unfortunately.
No, they don't.
No.
They do a very nice. What did we have last time? I can't even remember what we had, but it was nice.
Yeah. And
it was that nice.
Great recommendation from Becca. I can't remember what it was, but it was nice.
Order anything on the menu, and it was nice.
It was nice. You should have that. They should use that as their tagline. It was
to be fair, I think I had some kind of pastery.
I had a sandwich.
Thing. You had a sandwich. Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
All I can remember is that everyone ordered at slightly different times on the table, and some of us had to wait a lot longer than others for food.
Oh no!
I would find it, but I don't have the.
In terms of lobby space and stuff like that, Jill, what's it like?
It's got a nice big lobby, and a little sort of space on the end that people can sit and relax. When we were there, it had a special chair where Santa would sit at certain times.
You were there at Christmas? No.
Yes, you could.
Just in the middle of July.
Yeah.
Santa's there all year round.
Yeah.
Do they celebrate Mardi Gras there? I kind of think they should.
I think they do.
I think they do. Certainly in French Quarter they do. In French Quarter, apparently they put beads in your room.
Oh, fantastic.
Mardi Gras beads in the shape of a Mickey on the table.
That sounds safer than what they do at Universal when they just throw them at you.
Throw them at you, yes. Yeah. Sassagoula Floatworks looks a lot nicer now they've got rid of those big scary masks. Because if you've seen photos from a couple of years ago, they had these massive carnival masks on the walls, and kids were apparently running out terrified.
Oh, so that was similar to like the.
So that's fine. The nanny chairs are.
Yes.
But not the nanny chairs.
And the clown pool's gone, so maybe they're just slowly removing the terrifying.
Yeah. Whereas now, yes, there are things that are clever theming to do with Mardi Gras and to do with Port Orleans and French Quarter, but they're not as in your face, literally.
And is the food themed as well? So can you go there and get your Creole food?
In French Quarter, yes, you can get your jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo.
The Carpenters.
Yes, you can certainly get jambalaya.
Riverside, gumbo. They've got.
They've got jambalaya.
I'd be interested to know whether people think it's any good, because I understand that's a really niche hit, and people have their own preferences. And I know Jimmy, he's not with us in the chat tonight, but I'm sure he's a discerning customer when it comes to the Creole.
I don't
food.
know that it would pass Tiana's test, but we are definitely going to try it. And not only can you get beignets, you can get boozy beignets. You can get beignets that have a little squeezy bottle of booze that you can inject into your beignet.
Like a small pipette of alcohol
to make your beignets soggy.
Well, presumably it goes right into the middle. Yes, so
only do it right.
You get boozy beignets at Double Disney. It's
just drink the base out the pipette
just
and eat
have it
how to ruin a beignet, isn't it?
Don't ruin it.
Yes. Yeah, interestingly, you can't get the beignets at the food court itself. You get those at Scat Cat's. I think it's Scat Cat's Cafe, which is a little place near the food court and next to Scat Cat's Lounge, which is where you go to listen to live music.
Do you think we should get a Tiana's restaurant?
Oh, heck yes.
At this resort.
Rework boat rides to Tiana's place.
I'm surprised that they haven't done that, actually. It would seem sensible to...
Especially as they're doing Splash Mountain and sort of... They've gone that, and there's been a lot of focus on Tiana when the past few years of being added into parades, added into... was the show at the front of the castle...
Friendship Fair.
That's the one. Mickey's Friendship Fair, and so it would make sense because I can't see them putting that in Magic Kingdom.
I will be looking for theming. I have seen that on the shower curtains in French Quarter. There's Tiana's little crown.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen that. So there are some little tiny touches around the place, but I think they ought to turn Floatworks into Tiana's. Well, it would be Tiana's place rather than Tiana's palace. But yeah.
And in terms of room size, Jill, presumably, is it just because I've only stayed at Grand Casino Tower in terms of moderate, and I thought the room there was quite big. I thought in terms of space around the bed and like the worktop space and the bathrooms are amazing. In terms of the rooms, are they just a standard hotel size, presumably with 1 or 2 beds and then a relatively small bathroom at the back with a shower on one side and then a wardrobe?
Yeah, pretty standard.
Okay.
Pretty standard. I mean, for us as just 2 adults, it felt fine. We had 2 beds.
A family full might be a bit squishy.
Yeah. Might be a bit more.
Claire, you said at Coronado, if you stayed in the rooms out of Grand Casino, they're very similar room sizes. Okay. So they generally have 2 beds. I think I know in Coronado you can get a king bed, but I think it's not. They're not much different.
Are the Grand Casino rooms a bit bigger?
Yeah,
they are, aren't they?
You've got a little bit more space.
Yeah.
But we managed to fit quite comfortably with 3 in one of the moderates before.
Before the refurb at Coronado. So.
What they didn't. Sorry,
going to happen for us. So,
what they didn't have that that SSR had was a closet of any kind. You have a rail to hang clothes up, and you have lots of drawer space.
Where in Port Orleans?
In Port Orleans, yeah.
Okay, so you just have a rail in the bathroom area? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't it?
So you can hang clothes up on the rail, and there's lots of drawer space. So
that reminds me what Coronado used to have before they had the refurb.
So.
Yeah. Picking
Especially
up on
the shower curtain.
Yeah,
Stuff might get a bit damp.
No, it shouldn't do. There's plenty of room. Picking up on what Marla said there about the royal guest rooms. I have not stayed in those, but they look amazing. I've seen some vlogs.
Yes, they do look good.
They're the ones with the lights behind the headboards, aren't they?
I love the fireworks.
Yes. That's what my hand's doing, in case anyone's wondering. That's the
fireworks.
Yeah. I mean, the theming is that Tiana's brought some of her princess friends over to stay, which sounds like it's 8-year-old girls
slumber party.
Yeah, exactly.
My daughter would love that.
Yes, but actually they look quite grown up. The rooms look quite grown up in a way. They do have the little princessy touches, but they're not sort of little girly in that way. They're quite.
Okay, so maybe more like Rizzo and Sandra Dee sleep over than.
No, more like Wreck-It Ralph sleepover.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. But I do love the look of those, and I would absolutely love to turn the lights off and make the headlights, the fireworks come on.
That'd be really cool.
And you just need to pump in the sort of sound of Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
Or Wishes.
You have your own little fireworks. You sit there singing. Do, 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 do. That'd be you, Ben. You'd be sat there just humming the Happily Ever After music.
If I could pack the Lego cars in a suitcase, we could just take it there, set it all up.
Can you imagine? You could do a vlog of that with like the castle coming up in front of it with the fireworks behind it, and you singing the tune behind it.
Yeah, it'd have to be a mini one.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't even get the bigger one halfway around the corner without it
breaking. You could do the tiny little one, and just like use perspective, force perspective. It'll help. It'd be like, remember that Sesame Street near, far away.
Right.
Another thing that you can do in Port Orleans is a carriage ride.
Ooh, I have a video of that.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
We did that.
We've never done that.
It was $45 then. It's probably more now. So it's not something you just necessarily pull the money out of your back pocket to do. But we did it on a whim. We decided.
And how long did it last for? How long was the carriage?
It's about half an hour.
Okay.
It was dark.
Actually,
it was a very, very cold night, so we were tucked up warm under the blankets. But it was just nice, and it takes you around both Riverside and French Quarter.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
I think we should do that next year.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd do it in the daylight next time, I have to say.
I imagine just doing it sort of in the evening, just sort of a sunsetting.
Twilight,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be quite nice.
You get more out of it if you can see properly, I think. Yes.
So
But we
I
did
think
enjoy it.
I think we've done all the resorts that on the Disney Springs area. So is anything standing out as a favourite that's changed from the beginning of the show?
I definitely want to go and see the Port Orleans resorts. I'd like to go and visit them and have a walk around.
I want a beignet, probably not a boozy beignet, but I'll have a beignet.
And I'll go and see Yeehaw Bob at some point.
Yeah.
And if anyone in the chat has been to any of these resorts, we'd love to see some of your photos. So we'll put a post up tomorrow in the Wafflers Arms, our Facebook community. We'd love to see some of your pictures.
Wendy, I think you're right. I think Scat Cats is named after Scat Cat in the Aristocats.
Okay.
Which
Because he's a jazz player.
Underrated and brilliant film.
Yes.
Which doesn't really make sense to me,
No,
considering
because it's in Paris.
Well, it's set in Paris, but yeah.
Aristocats is set in Paris.
But maybe
room in
that's
Epcot.
maybe that's where Scat Cat ended up
Yeah.
Just borrowing New Orleans.
when the band broke up.
They speak French. They speak French here. It's fine. It's all good. There's a very loose thread holding that together. Ben, what have we got
quite
next
a few
week?
loose threads in Disney.
There always is. And what have we got next week?
Well,
We've got a show out, haven't we?
We have.
At the end of next. Oh, that's the end of next week, isn't it?
Well, we had a show out last week, which was
Gosh.
our Epcot celebration episode. Epcot turned 40 at the weekend.
Yes, it did.
Yep.
We did talk about all 40 years in decades.
Yeah. And
then next Wednesday.
Well, instead of us telling you, why don't we just show you?
yeah.
That's a good plan.
Ooh.
So next week, this is a topic that we've spoken about quite a few times and with a few friends as well. And it isn't just an opportunity for us to talk about these T-shirts, but we are talking about just pausing and those special moments that you're in the middle of the trip and you think, hey, it's too busy, what to do? It's just, and I know John said this quote several times about taking a step back, pause, let the magic come to you. Sometimes we're so busy in going from ride to ride to fitting in ADRs that we don't take those moments just to soak in the atmosphere.
That'd be cool. So we're just going to talk about where we choose to
sit back and
hang
relax.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hang out.
Look how on brand I am.
Oh, well done. And there's a couple of things on that list that are getting closer and closer.
There are. Well,
and I'm slightly concerned.
Well, the burial sites.
The burial sites and also Walmart Wednesday is
Wednesday.
getting closer as well.
And they're not the same show either.
Well, if people are astute watchers or noticed, we've actually been pushed back a little bit to slot in next week's show.
Yeah.
That is true.
So,
I'm looking forward to next week.
I think it'll be fun to talk about those little places that we... And do you know what? I'm going to be writing them all down for when I get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Megan, it's not too late to get one of those shirts if you want them.
It's not.
You can get that picture on all sorts of things.
You can, and we've got those ones, and we've got our original Waffle On t-shirts on there.
You can find it by going to the website and then following the link through there.
Yeah.
The website's on the screen if you've got a pen and paper handy. Not sure
Pen
that
and
anyone watching
paper.
has a pen and paper. But
You know
Pen
what we
and
need?
paper, what are they?
You know what we need? We need a QR code.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but then people would have to stop watching on their phone
But
And then
open the app and just...
Well, they could watch it on their
We could just
telly.
put the QR code on the Wafflers Arms.
We could.
And the link, we'll put it all on there this evening.
We'll put it all there for you. Keep it easy. Some beautiful videos tonight as well that I know came from Zach sent them over, courtesy of Here with the Magic. Really appreciate that, the support from them as well in terms of the videos and photos that they share with us that we can use because we're not there. So
No.
thank you for sending them over, Zach. Thank you, Jason, for letting us use your footage.
Yeah.
I know neither of them are here tonight. They're busy people getting the next
They are.
shows ready.
I know they've got soundscapes out tomorrow, more shows in the pipeline. There's so much. I think their soundscape is one that I'm looking forward to, which
What
is
their soundscape?
carrying on the Epcot theme, World Showcase.
Ooh.
See, I wonder what
That
part
That
of
feels
World
like it's going to be
Showcase-
quite a long one because it says Grand Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all of them?
Ooh.
I think I know when that was recorded.
I think
it's going to be good.
I think they've spent longer in World Showcase than Sammy did when she was there.
Without a doubt. And talking of World Showcase, who knows what footage we might be bringing from World Showcase in the future?
I know.
Just saying, go throw that teaser out there. Wait till December.
Later in the year, yeah.
December's going to be a very good month, and we just want to say thank you for supporting us at the Great British Mickey Waffles here. Whether it's you just find us on YouTube, just have a listen, like and share us out, because we love reaching new people. And the easiest way of doing that is just to find us on any of our socials.
And tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Even if they don't like Disney.
Tell them anyway.
Tell them anyway.
You never know. We might be able to convert them.
We don't always talk about Disney.
If they like Walmart, tell them. If they like Walmart, they like a bit of shopping.
If they like burial sites, it's not really the...
If they're into the slightly macabre.
Well, Halloween is coming up.
Yes.
Halloween is coming up, yes. Who
Anything
knows?
spooky.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you know what? I think we're done.
Yeah.
We talked about
Yes,
resorts.
we are.
We've covered next week's stuff.
Yeah.
I think this was actually the last one of our little resort
Oh,
That's
shows.
the last of our resort shows. Cool.
think
I have to think of something
so.
else to talk about now.
Oh,
Oh my
well.
god, so
Food.
excited.
I've got some
now for-
ideas.
I think it's going to be food.
So
I
excited
was
for
gonna
Port
say,
Orleans.
Food?
And I-
Us talk about food? Surely not.
No.
Maybe some
Well, it's either going to
We've
be.
got some-
I've got two ideas we can go through.
Food and drink. There we go.
and
I was
drink.
thinking gift shops actually.
That's been on the list for a while.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you've got ideas, people in the chat, if you've got ideas of what you want us to talk
Tell
about on
us.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Maybe we
We'd
should
love to talk
dedicate-
about what you want us to talk about, not just what
Maybe
we're
we should dedicate
happy
a
with
Wednesday
about.
in December that is just chosen by someone else.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then we don't,
It does.
and we only find out the week before.
Well, like Wafflers roulette style,
Uh,
have a hat.
Waffles arms, or,
We should do that. We
or
should
are
do
we
it as
picking a
a...
random person out of a hat?
We could put a poll up and people can suggest things for us to talk about. Although
Yeah,
I'm slightly nervous about that concept.
we'll see what happens.
More than slightly nervous.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we do. Yeah, Anna, thank you. Right. This is why I'm nervous.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's just one thing left to say.
Waffle on.
Waffle
Waffle
on.
on.
Full on.